Zach, how are you guys looking at this? I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you guys find your game and win one game, you go home 2-2. I mean, and maybe all this can be forgotten. So how do you guys now move forward and look at this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to come in and win too, but it's nice to get a split, and we're going to be hungry, and obviously last night wasn't our best, and we know that, and we went over some clips today, and we'll be better tomorrow.
Zach, what specific areas does this team need more production or more emphasis on to prepare for Game 4?
Yeah, I think we just got to get back to our game. I don't think we played our best this series yet, and we just got to get back to our game, playing predictable, playing quick, and just compete all around the ice.
How much do you feel? A lot of you guys have said, got to get back to our game. Is that what Montreal is doing to get you off of it, or do you feel that's more self-inflicted?
No, I think it's self-inflicted for sure. I mean, obviously Montreal's a heck of a hockey team, and they play the right way, and but I think we got a lot better, and we know that in this room to a man. We all got to be better, and we will be.
How can you improve the defensive coverages? Montreal did get some guys loose in your zone last night. How can you guys as a group, as a five-man unit, improve that coverage?
Yeah, I think it's just playing our system. I mean, I think there's a few moments last game where we got away from our system, and they got some skilled players that are going to make it pay. So we can't take time off, and we'll be better.
A lot has been said before the playoffs about how inexperienced your group is and how young your group is. How much are you learning from game to game about this initial playoff grind as a group?
Yeah, it's hockey. It really is. You're playing hockey out there. We've all played hockey for a long time. That's all it is out there. It's playing hockey, and we got to be better, and we will be.
Is there one thing you can take as a positive with the power play? You scored on the one, and the other one, I think you had the zone time the whole 2 minutes. Do you like how that improved?
Yeah, 100%. I thought our power play was great. It created a momentum. In the 4-2 game there, I think we had one go off the crossbar. Quinter threw one off my skate, and it goes across the crease. So I thought our power play was great. I mean, Dolls and Tom were moving the puck well, and I thought we got some net traffic, and I think we'll be better, but I think it's a good starting point.
In regards with that net traffic, what does this team have to do to create more of a presence in front of Dobesh in Game 4?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to get to the net. I mean, it's the game of hockey. You have to get to the net. These goalies are way too good to let them see the puck. So, we got to do a better job of undercutting and getting to the net, and we'll do a better job at that. And he's obviously a heck of a goalie, so got to make sure he can't see that puck.
How did the
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I said, we got away from our game too much last night, and they got skilled players that you give them time and space, they're going to make you pay. So it's just getting back to our system and playing our style of hockey, and making them play on their heels instead of us playing on our heels. So we're looking forward to tomorrow night, and we'll be better.
How much did the crowd and the atmosphere inside that building impact the way you guys played last night?
If anything, it gave us energy. I mean, it's cool to play in an atmosphere like that. It was wild in there. It was loud, and I feel like it probably gave both sides energy. It's what you dream of playing in front of, and it was a cool atmosphere.
You just saying that you guys get too emotional, worried about things you guys can control. Maybe in what ways do you think you stick? Maybe lost your focus a bit.
Yeah, it's emotional. It's the playoffs. It's going to be emotional out there, and you're never going to like what the ref calls or what he doesn't call. So I think it's just staying even keel and not getting too worked up or too down on the bench. It's just stay in the moment, and it's playoff hockey. It's going to be emotional, but you got to do your best to stay in the moment.
Zach, how do you stay even keel when things get really heated, physically speaking, and scrums and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Everyone has a different way of staying even keel. I mean, some guys self-talk, some guys breathe, and it's just, you can't do anything stupid, or you just gotta, sometimes you gotta take a punch in the face, or, maybe you don't stop in front of the net that time. So it's little things that, you got to do to kind of stay out of it.
How would you describe kind of the emotions, the mood when you guys met this morning, just like with the group?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited for tomorrow. Everyone in that room knows that we didn't play our best last night, and I think it's just all excitement. Get to do it again tomorrow, and it's a big one tomorrow.
Even if it's so warm out there, we saw the footage yesterday of Matheson protecting your face from a blade. Were you surprised? Did you see it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a war out there, but when skates are flying around, obviously, super good on him to kind of protect my head. But it's a battle out there, and it's been a fun series so far.
Thank you, Zach.
Alex, I know it wasn't the best game last night, but how do you look at this as you move into Game 4? If you win the game, you go home tied. Is that basically the way you look at it, and you can forget about all this if you play the game that you guys are capable of and win?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we want to forget about that feeling last night. Me personally, I think that was it's definitely my worst defensive game of the playoffs. So I'm not going to forget that feeling. But yeah, I think it's only 2-1 in the series. We have to come out flying tomorrow. No excuses. We just got to be a lot better.
When you say you don't want to forget that feeling, how do you use that going forward?
Yeah, I mean, you get a little pissed off about it. You learn from it, and then you move on. I know what I'm capable of, and like I said, I just got to be a lot better.
How do you slow them down what they had last night versus not the way you guys did?
We have to get above their speed, and we got to play quicker. Oh, go ahead.
Heard a lot of guys say you guys have not been playing your game. Has that been dictated by Montreal or more self-inflicted?
Very much self-inflicted. It's all on our decisions and our will and our compete. We got to look ourselves in the mirror and get back to the game we know we can play and the game that's been successful for us.
Is that something last night maybe a little too emotional at times?
No, I don't think it was emotions. It was just more decision making, and compete was lacking.
Is that something you guys can feel, that decision making and whatnot? You feel that snowballing as it goes, and trying to get out of that hole as it gets difficult as the game goes?
Yeah, I mean, momentum changes throughout shifts and periods and everything like that, and they were able to maintain it more and to capitalize on their momentum. I mean, I thought we had a really good start to the game with Tomer's goal there, and then we let him off the hook. I thought we had all momentum, and we should try to push a little bit harder there early on and try to make them chase it.
You're one of the few guys in this locker room who has actual playoff experience. What is there to learn for all these young guys who are playing for the first time in full season? What is there to learn in this situation you're in right now?
Yeah, I mean, every game's a learning experience. Every game's different, especially in the playoffs. And but now every guy in that locker room that's played has playoff games under their belt, and they know what to expect, and we all have to be ready. Yeah.
How do you explain that compete was lacking in the second round of the playoffs in an atmosphere like it was last night at the Bell Center?
Sorry.
You said compete was lacking. Yeah. How do you explain that it was a problem in the second round when the?
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be. Stakes are high. Sometimes frustration settles in, but yeah, like I said, we just got to look ourselves in the mirror and go out there and just work harder.
You changed the power play units. You got a goal, and I think the second one, I think you're in the zone in the whole 2 minutes. How did you feel that power play went with the new units and just the overall way it went?
Yeah, I thought that unit had a great goal. Also, they had a really good full 2 minutes there early on. When our unit got out there, I thought we had a couple good opportunities too. I thought we were moving the puck quicker. I thought we were shooting. We made smarter decisions with the puck. Our shots were smarter, and it was good that Dallas got a goal there in the power play. Try to give us some momentum for our power play.
How frustrating was that third goal for you?
Yeah, that's unacceptable. That was just a missed back check on my part. That's on me. I can't leave Lizzie out to dry like that. That's not good.
Alex, what do you need to do as a leader to really elevate your game to help this team game 4?
Work. It's work. It's for me. It's moving my feet. It's working. It's holding on the pucks. It's making it difficult for them to play offense. It's just, I think what I've done, what I was doing in the first round, I need to be better at that.
How do you handle a day like today as one of the veterans trying to just keep guys in the right headspace?
Yeah, I mean, it's we had our meeting. We get to hear what our coach had to say about the game last night. We have to learn from it, but like I said before, you got to move on. You have to find a way to come out tomorrow and try to give them hell.
He felt maybe he agrees or disagrees with some of the penalties, but he said you guys got to cut it down. He goes, you can't have 6 penalties against them, whether you like them or not.
Yeah, no, it's their power play is lethal. They had 2 goals against us last night. Our PK's got to be better, but it just takes you out of your rhythm. I think we're a really, really good 5-on-5 team, and so if we can play that more often than not, I think we'll be in a better spot.
Thanks, Alex.
Lindsay, when you went back over the game and watched it again, anything really stick out that you didn't see last night and talk about?
You know, some of our puck decisions got to be a lot better. We got off to the start we wanted to get off to. Scored the early goal, had another great chance. I thought our D-zone coverage was too loose. Gave up some big opportunities on plays that we can control. And again, discipline. Can't the offensive zone penalties we got to stay away from.
There's so many questions about that team. How much do you actually you need 1 win and 2
Yeah, we got to reset. You can't. Playoffs is about the next game. It's not about the past one. The only thing we can control now is Game 4, and I think Game 4, we've answered a lot of questions this year about, you know, tough situations and adversity early in the year, and you know, even after our 10-game winning streak, a terrible game in Columbus, and you know, we've put together 6-game winning streaks and 3-game, and I'm really confident in the group. So it's all about tomorrow.
How do you try to handle this morning with the group?
Well, we're a pretty honest group with each other. You know, I might not be honest with you guys, but I'm honest with them.
What did you lie about? What did you lie about?
We weren't good enough. We weren't good enough to win the game.
Lindy, what went into the decision to cancel practice today for tomorrow?
Because we haven't practiced in between games, even the whole Boston series. We made one exception already here. But we're going to stay with the program where we'll game day skate and rest in between games.
Does it give you the confidence defensively that you've watched your team do it all year, do it the right way? And yeah, they didn't do it the right way last night, but still, does that give you the confidence that they'll be able to overcome?
Yeah, you know, like if you look at Montreal's first goal, we've got first touch on the puck. First touch is a big deal. The decision we made with first touch is what cost us the goal against. And those are the decisions we're trying to clean up. You know, it's all connected. If we make the proper play there, we're probably breaking out of the zone. And when our forwards see us getting first touch, they're reacting in a manner that we want to be leaving the zone. So if we don't handle that, then for a second, we can be out of position.
Yesterday, after the game, you made it clear, Alex Lyon had nothing to do with the loss. In 2026, it's just a cliche that sometimes when you change goalie, it might shake up the team in a good way.
I'm going to stick with what I said. He had nothing to do with the loss. He made a lot of great saves inside the game. That game could have been, they had a couple point blank. He made tremendous saves on him. I would have liked to change a couple forward and a couple D maybe during the game, but we don't have that option.
You said yesterday that your team had to realize the kind of opposition you were getting. Do you feel the lack of experience is costing you right now as a team? Playoff experience?
We got in my eyes, we got plenty of playoff experience in this last series against Boston and then in the first 3 games. This is all part of the playoffs. It isn't a time for excuses. It's a time for, that you're playing a good team. It's our compete against their compete. It's, are we going to play quick enough? Are we going to break the puck up well enough? And then there's an element of discipline inside the game where, you can expect some calls to go your way, expect some calls to go the other way.
How would you like to see Zucker rebound tomorrow?
Again, he got, like I said last night, he kind of got caught where we got in the penalty killing and power play. The power play was good. He's not on that number 1 power play. And then I felt not really fair. He's been sitting there a long time with the engine not running. But that line on the whole needs to produce for us. And it hasn't. Got scored against early. But this is a time where you can't spend much on yesterday's game.
Now that they've experienced that atmosphere, which is one of the craziest atmospheres they're ever going to experience, is that going to does it go without saying it's going to help them in the next game? Try to not let that experience detour them.
Yeah, I think everybody got the experience. The other teams got the experience, the atmosphere in Buffalo. The atmosphere here is just as tremendous. It's what playoff hockey is about. We got the answer we wanted. We got the early goal right away. The place went quiet. We had another big chance right away that we could have made it 2-0. That's part of it. You got to live through that first part of the game. We talked about getting off to a good start, not letting the building get behind them. We made a mistake there late in the period that gave them some life, but I think they got to see some playoff atmosphere that a lot of players get to experience.
How do you weigh whether to make lineup changes this time of year?
We're going to address a lineup that we think is going to be the best possible chance to win the game.
Alex Tuck said earlier.
I think they've been in on some good opportunities. Particularly Jack has had a lot of opportunities he hasn't finished. I think they got to finish. I looked at the game last night, and I think there was 4 times on entries we got about the top of the circle and we didn't make a good decision. Whether that's play behind, we threw some pucks in the middle of the ice, which kind of fueled their breakouts. I'd like to see that cleaned up.
Alex Tuck said earlier that he didn't want to forget the feeling that he had last night. Where do you stand on keeping that feeling with you versus flushing that and whether it can be used to motivate him?
I'm going to give it a couple more hours and I'm going to flush it right out. I'd really like to forget it myself.
Your team goes into game 4, and this is a game that could really swing the pendulum in one team's favor or the other, but what do you need out of your leaders going into?
Need their best game. I need what they gave us in game 6 in Boston. I thought our group gave us the best game of the series. And this is the type of game where we need that. And they understand that.
Alex mentioned that he thought, personally, he needs to compete harder. And I know this time of year, these guys obviously want it. Was that, you think, a focus, an energy thing? Did you see compete as an issue last night?
Yeah, when I look at every 50-50 compete, there's one guy battling another guy. They want it just as bad as us. At the end, I thought they had the edge. Whether that was 60-40 or 55-45, whatever it was. I thought if we're going to be successful, we've got to tilt that table to 60-40 in our favor or whatever that exact number is. That's on puck battles, that's on wall battles, that's on, you look at net front battles. Yeah, everybody can be better on the compete for sure. Alex can be better on the compete, he knows that.
Thanks.
Thanks, Cindy.